We got 10 more days of it'll cut. The inspiration behind Supremacy, it really starts with the wines that I was able to cut my teeth on when I was young. I was lucky enough that my dad was a big Napa Cab guy, Bordeaux style red blend guy. And actually the first project before Nottingham Cellars, there was a Meritage from Napa Valley, Rutherford, that really kind of piqued my curiosity into wine in general. And ultimately, that wine was kind of the focal point. When we found Livermore Valley and kind of realized the growing potential here for Cabernet Sauvignon and Bordeaux style wines, we really just kind of hit it off. And from there, Medoc, was kind of where we looked to, a left bank Cabernet based Bordeaux style red blend.
The thought process had always been to make world-class wines, and Bordeaux being the classic, we felt that we needed to create a blend that was going to really showcase not only Livermore, but the ability and the quality of the grapes that were made available to us. And the first vintage of the Supremacy was just that.
For me, speaking personally, Bordeaux style blends are, one of my personal favorites. Okay, so obviously the ones from France, but there's spectacular expressions from California. Amazing food wine, particularly with things like steak, your richer meats, game, lamb, things like that. But to have a world-class Bordeaux type wine in our backyard is spectacular.
Our first vintage of Supremacy was certainly a very, very proud moment from a parent's standpoint. Seeing your son develop and hone his skills as a winemaker, and then to produce something incredible and beautiful, and with each vintage it's just gotten better and better, and just seeing the pride in his accomplishments and what he's been able to do and what he can do in the future is very, very heartwarming and makes a parent very, very proud.
My first time having Supremacy was in the tasting room at Nottingham Cellars, and it was a sort of like a Supremacy flight, so to speak. Actually, no, it was a single vineyard flight where I got to learn all the different vineyards. But at the end of the day, after tasting through the flight and ending with Supremacy, I remember being silent. I remember thinking, I didn't know that Livermore Valley wine could taste this good. Especially coming from a hospitality background, going through all these different certifications, you're taught to taste through the grid. I taste these fruits, I taste this level of tannin, this level of acidity. But for me, it was one of those moments where it, not to sound corny, but it takes your breath away. I was silent.
Supremacy to me is elegant and complex and beautiful on so many different levels. But to me, it's also a wine that goes against the status quo. No one on our winemaking team has a formal wine education. Livermore Valley as a whole is consistently hated on. So for us to make a wine this good with this team from this valley, it proves everybody wrong. And to me, that's something pretty special.
Producing world-class wine from a valley that has a long history but doesn't get the recognition it deserves is a pride and a pain. We wish that Livermore got the recognition it deserves, but with wines like Supremacy and all the wines we produce here at Nottingham, we're hoping to bring a little attention to the valley and get the recognition that Livermore does deserve.
So 2015 in the Livermore Valley, Bordeaux style wines really had like this redder fruit to them, higher tuned acidity. The wine to me drinks a lot more like a Saint-Emilion right bank Bordeaux style red blend than it does something off the Medoc. But the wine still has the power and structure needed to age well and is showing beautifully today on release.
I get some of those cedar notes up front. I get a little, like vegetal, just hints of like little green pepper, I don't know, maybe from Cap Franc or something. The fruit's there, but it's not overwhelming, which is one of the issues that I take with a lot of California Bordeaux blends and Bordeaux styles. It's just fruit. The acidity's there too. This is nice.
Supremacy is our most well-known wine amongst members. The way that people's faces light up when you walk towards them with the bottle of it, they know exactly how special that wine is. I believe it captures Livermore Valley as a whole in a bottle, and that's something to celebrate.
Right when the sommelier kind of chauffeurs it to your table, I equate it to a limousine pulling up to a private event where everyone else in the room kind of stops, turns their head and looks, and it's sort of like, what's going on over there? Supremacy almost demands attention.
The 2015 represents what we think is the best wine we've created so far. We couldn't be more excited to release this wine on this special year, our 10-year anniversary.